What's the name of that group? Indians, or what's another word? Native Americans. And I think both are acceptable right now, but I'm not 100% positive. So we got Native Americans, we got legends and tales. So what we're going to do is we're going to read this book, which is Sleeping Bear, The Legend of Sleeping Bear. Has anyone read this book or been read this book to them?
No, never.
Okay, good. I hope you know. So this was a legend or a tale passed on by the Chippewas or the Ojibwe. Ojibwe is the Native American language for Chippewa. So I want you to think about these words. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a list of words. I need my list of words.
You took my book. Someone stole from
The Magnum?
Thank you. Sorry. Alright, I'm going to give you a list of words. And this is called Mind's Eye. So I want you to think about what this story is going to be about in your mind when I just give you this list of words. So, the story, I'm going to give you an idea of what it's about, but then you got to think about it when I give you the words. Is about how a natural characteristic, who told me what a natural characteristic was? Koa, what's a natural characteristic?
It is something human made.
Opposite. Something found in. Alright, so we're going to talk about how a natural characteristic was made and using animals as the characters in the story. That's it. Alright? You guys ready to imagine? Alright. Okay. You ready? I know you are. You're just challenging. That's okay. Alright. Bear cubs.
Oh, a baby bear.
Oh, you got to think.
Oh.
Plane. Storm. Fire. Swimming. Resting. Sad. Sleeping bear. Legend. And Native American. Alright, close your eyes. Close them. Close them tight. Close them. Close them, close them, close them. So, now what I want you to do is think about the story and just what you're going to imagine, what this story is about. Just using those words. Alright, open your eyes. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to make some predictions, questions, or feeling. So what I mean by that is a question. Example is, what natural characteristic is the story going to talk about? Prediction. I think this story is about this. Or feeling. I feel like the story is going to be. That's it. Those are your only clues. Alright? Question, prediction, feeling. Turn to a person next to you and tell them what your question, prediction, or feeling is. Alright, thumbs up when you're done. Looks like everyone's done. Everyone's done.
And they're still trying to help.
Ready, Tati? Alright, perfect. Alright, I'm going to read that list of words one more time. Slowly. Think about it. You don't have to close your eyes this time. Bear cubs. Playing. Storm. Fire. Swimming. Resting. Sad. Sleeping bear. Legend. And Native American. The Legend of Sleeping Bear. The Great Bear sleeps, waiting for her cubs, who have turned into Manitou Islands. The wind sweeps on. The story of their trip across Lake Michigan has become a legend for young and old, which is dedicated to your imagination and fantasy that you may enjoy it forever and ever as the wind blows. Long, long ago, before voyagers paddled canoes down the rivers and streams, before the mighty lumbermen cleared forests with sharp, shiny axes, before wooden ships carried sailors across the great freshwater seas. So we're going to go like old school, like we're in first grade. But it's good. I like the picture.
I can't see.
I'll get back to you. Which one? Got it? Cool. There was a beautiful forest near the edge of a mighty lake. Today we know the forest as part of Wisconsin, and the mighty lake is called Lake Michigan. Is Wisconsin a city?
Yeah. No, it's a state.
Oh, thank you. But this was a time before many places had names or people. It was a time before farmers and Native Americans planted cherry and apple trees in long, neat rows. It was a time before pioneers planted colorful gardens of pumpkins, potatoes, and corn. That's it. You need it. All good. Thank you, though. I'm losing everything here. Losing my marbles. In this forest near the edge of the lake lived Mother Bear. Her fur was blacker than the darkest night, and her eyes were large and round. Mother Bear had 2 cubs, and they were very soft and playful. The 3 of them lived together in a small, cozy den nestled among bluebells and buttercups. Every morning, as the wood thrushed softly, saying pip, 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 and chickadees called, chickadee-dee from the trees. Mother Bear and her cubs would lumber through the forest to the banks of the birch-lined stream. Deer would gently bend their slender necks to sip the cool water, and raccoons would quickly wash their faces. Mother Bear and her cubs would step carefully into the stream, and as the fresh, clear water trickled by, Mother Bear would teach her cubs how to snatch plump, colorful trout for breakfast. Afterwards, they would sit lazily on the banks, nibbling blueberries and hazelnuts. Every afternoon, Mother Bear would lead her cubs through the forest to the edge of the mighty lake. This lake was so big, they could not see the other side, and the water seemed to disappear in the sky. What lake do you think it is?
Lake Michigan.
Thank you. You're wicked smart.
He's on it today.
Yeah. The bears would frolic along the sandy shore, happily splashing in the shallows and chasing herring gulls. They tugged at each other's tails and took long, cool baths. Every evening, Mother Bear led her cubs back to their warm, cozy den, where she cradled them in her big black paws and held them gently while they went to sleep. One morning, as they were lumbering along to the birch-lined stream, there was a loud crash of thunder and a sharp hissing sound. Snap! Pop! Mother Bear stood on her hind feet and stuck her nose in the air. A brilliant orange blaze flashed through the trees, and clouds filled the sky. Fire! Mother Bear rushed her cubs to the banks of the stream and ordered them to follow it into the shore of the mighty lake. Bears dashed rapidly, deer sprang back and forth, and wolves ran wildly. Even the star-nosed moles hurried out from beneath the cover of the forest floor. As they reached the shore, Mother Bear gathered her cubs and shouted, "Children, we must go. We must swim across the mighty lake. My children, I love you so." They leaped into the water and began to swim. The lake was very deep. The water was cold. The waves were tall and the wind was strong. They paddled hard and fast. Mother Bear pleaded, "My children, do you promise that you'll swim with all your might? If we are to reach the other side, we must swim throughout the night." The faithful cubs promised their mother that they would swim with all their might. They swam and they swam, growing weary and tired. They swam as the afternoon sun grew large and warm. They swam as the sun slipped below the horizon and the air grew cold. And as they swam, Mother Bear kept turning her large black face to make sure her cubs were not far behind. She watched as their paws struggled against the water, and as their soft, round faces became smaller and smaller between the waves of the mighty lake. Mother Bear grew worried. Soon, nighttime fell upon them. The sky grew dark, and stars began to shine. Suddenly, the air seemed quiet, and the water became very still. In the distance, Mother Bear heard the trill of screech owls and the howling of timber wolves. Oh, I appreciate that. Go ahead. Thanks, Isaac. Mother Bear kept looking back as she swam throughout the night. Through her tired eyes, she noticed the morning sun was beginning to rise and cast its bright rays upon the deep blue water. She looked back once more, but she could not see her cubs. Mother Bear collapsed on the banks of the shore. Her wet, heavy paws sank into the deep sand. There were rolling hills and huge mounds of sand all around her, and the land seemed very strange. Mother Bear paced up and down the water's edge, but her cubs were nowhere to be found. Her wet fur gleamed in the fresh morning sunlight, and tears shone in her eyes. Mother Bear cried, "My children, are you coming? You are strong and you are clever. My children, can you hear me? I will wait for you forever." Mother Bear climbed to the top of the highest hill. She looked out over the dark, deep water, but saw no sign of her cubs. Mother Bear called throughout the day, "My children, can you hear me? I know you must be near. My children, I am waiting high up here." Mother Bear waited until the sun set. Another night fell upon her. She waited while the sun came up again in the morning. She waited while wild pink roses bloomed all around her, and while baby blue-throated sparrows learned how to fly. She waited while the grasses on the distant dune became yellow and dull. Mother Bear waited while the air grew colder, and the snowflakes floated down from thick, dark winter clouds. She waited and waited. Mother Bear waited, but her cubs never reached the shore. And high upon the hill, Mother Bear fell fast asleep in her sorrow. Years passed, and the winds of Lake Michigan blew blankets of sand upon her, keeping her warm and safe in her slumber. Some pictures. These are some good pictures. Mother Bear in the sand dune.
Yeah. She's small.
Over time, the great spirit of the land felt her sadness, recognizing her dedication and love for her children. With a tremendous gust of wind, the spirit brought the cubs near shore, raising them out of the water as two magnificent islands, placing them forever within the watchful and caring eyes of Mother Bear.
No, I had to drop
The
some
cubs
off.
now stand suspended in time as the North and South Manitou Islands. Happy to be near their mother once again, they rest in the spirit of their mother's love. Two islands of gleaming sand, edged by waters that sparkle and dance in the sunlight. So the little one's South Manitou Island, and the bigger one is North Manitou Island.
I got a question too.
We'll get there.
They swim that far.
I'll get it. I like it. Good thinking. Did you ask that question? Later? Can you? Now, Mother Bear can finally rest with great happiness, knowing her cubs are near. And today, when the world is quiet and the sun begins to set, you can still hear her voice echoing in the wind that blows across Lake Michigan. My children, as the years may pass and time slips through our hands, My love will linger near the shore and in the blowing sands. I'll send you kisses in the wind to let you know I'm here. Sleeping near the water's edge, I am always near. Like children, you can rest assured that we are now together, and I am watching you over you and loving you forever.
Hey, is she dead?
Alright, so now I want you to think about your question, your prediction, or your feeling. Turn to the same person you talked to and tell me how you feel about the story now. Was your prediction right? Was your question right? Answered? Or was your feeling right? Was your question? What did you
Karen? Sit. Yes, I did. Sit down. You can't keep your hands up. Can you sit down?
Alright, class.
Yes.
Hoo-de-hoo. Alright, I have a couple of questions, then we'll talk about what legends and tales are, and our thoughts, feelings, questions. What's your name, sir? Austin, what's up?
I wonder how they swam that far and the cars made it that far.
I'm so glad you said that. You guys talked about sources. What are the two different types of sources? Silas. And someone tell me what the difference is. Go.
If you take a photograph, it's
Yep. Well, the way I look at it, and Austin, I'm going to get your question. Primary is you know that this is proven. So you know this is the truth. Secondary is when it's from me to Austin, from Austin to Lucas, from Lucas to someone else. We don't know for sure. So, is this real or not real?
not real.
Do you think bears could swim almost the whole way across Lake Michigan?
No.
So is it a primary or secondary source?
Secondary.
There you go. There's your answer.
You know, why didn't they
So-
just take a boat? They can't.
So, now, I want five people to share.
Ethan.
5 people to share either their question, their feeling, or their prediction. Raise your hand. Go ahead, Landon. Did you think it was going to be sad ahead of time? How did you feel before we read the story, when we heard those words? So you thought it was going to be sad, and it was, right? Yeah, that's kind of a prediction too. Go ahead, Tommy Joe.
It's Logan. And I thought, oh, they were gonna turn into
So you guys, I want to get you a couple of you guys. But Tommy Joe said she used the cover of the book to guess that they were going to be on sand dunes. Do you have one? Question, prediction, or feeling? Go ahead. Yeah, that was said. How did you feel before we read it? Oh, what's your name? Sierra? Cece. So Cece felt like it was going to be a happy book. Was it a happy book? Not so much.
Yeah, but no.
Not so much. It explained something, but it wasn't like super happy. It was kind of sad. I thought it was sad.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was super.
Do you guys have one more question, prediction, or feeling? Go ahead, bud. But yeah. Eventually she died. So I'm gonna go with yeah. Fisher.
Are they wired?
Oh, I thought you had one. One more. Austin.
Oh, I just didn't die in the fight.
At least you did that.
Okay.
Alright, so, real quick, before I'm going to throw on a video if we have time. This is a legend or a tale told by Native Americans to explain how something happened. This is explaining how the Sleeping Bear Sand Dune was made, and also how the islands were made from the Cubs. So, it explains how something happened, it's a secondary source, and it's told by the Native Americans. I think we're going to talk more about that, but I kind of wanted to preview, and there's a couple other ones, there's a lot of other ones actually. This legend of the Lady Slipper, Dancing Drum, Turquoise Boy, and Little Firefly are all explaining how natural things happen. So, before there was a bunch of science to explain how things happened, the Native Americans, all different groups of people from long ago would explain things through their legends or tales. So, right now, can I explain why the earth is round?
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you know? Someone tell me why they know the earth is round. This is a tough one. I hope you get it, Austin.
So, because if it was square or any other shape, when it would go to turn, it would just like lean like this. If it's round, it has like kind of the same weight, so it doesn't do it. It just spins.
Well, I'm going to give you an example of a primary source. Has anyone seen a picture of the earth?
Yeah.
From what? Google Earth. So, you see these pictures from Google Earth, which is a satellite, or from a spaceship, and you see it. It's a picture. We know it's round. But back then, they didn't have spaceships or Google, right? So, they had to tell you, this is why the earth is round, or this is why the sand dunes are there. So that's just examples. How are we doing on time?
We got about 4 minutes.
Oh, perfect. We'll just fill this up real quick. Yeah, no.
Tati, grab the remote and turn the projector on.
Thank you, Tati. Yeah, what's up?
Class.
Yes.
Oh, somebody groan. Class.
Yes.
Oh yeah. My friends, when I give the quiet signal, you are at 100% quiet. Your conversations are over, even if they're not done. You are at a complete zero when you hear that quiet signal. Doesn't matter what adult gives it, you're at zero.
So this is the same story. She's going to be told by a park ranger.
Sleeping Bear National Lakeshore is a geological treasure. Its beauty has lured millions here over the years.
Has anyone been here?
Yeah.
Sleeping Bear Dunes? Raise your hand. It's so beautiful.
There's history here on top of the abundant natural resources we